On behalf of the Order Malta, I welcome you to our webinar on the essential action of women religious congregations in caring for victims and survivors of human trafficking and the urgent need to support them. Since October 2020, we have organized 39 webinars on human trafficking, focusing on the Laudato Si and Fratelli Tutti encyclicals. In these webinars, we have highlighted the importance of religious congregations' work in advocating for and assisting human trafficking victims and survivors at the local and international levels. Today, we are honored to receive 4 special speakers who have been and still are active in the field on behalf of human trafficking victims. First, Sister Miriam Baike, Sister of Our Lady of Charity of the Good Shepherd, member from the Congregational Chapter of the Order in Rome as Apostolic Counselor for Germany and Albania. She is representative of the UN in Geneva for the Sisters of Our Lady of Charity of the Good Shepherd. She worked for 30 years with survivors of trafficking in Germany and Albania. She is a working board member of RENATE and the Alliance of NGOs on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice. And she will be speaking from Central America. Second, Sister Françoise Giranonda, Sister of Saint Paul de Chartres, winner of the Sisters Anti-Trafficking Awards 2023. Sister Françoise has opened 2 schools that protect young Thai women vulnerable to the sex trade. Sister Françoise's activities aim to teach young women free vocational skills after high school and raise public awareness. We will see her intervention on video because she is unfortunately sick. Third, Sister Olivia Umo is a Catholic sister of the Daughters of Charity of St. Vincent de Paul. She is the director of Safe Child Advocacy, a social service institution owned by the Catholic Archdiocese of Kumasi in Ghana that provides multifaceted services to support, reintegrate, and promote accessibility for children in street situations. She has over 33 years of experience in social work practice. And fourth, Sister Patricia Ebeg-Boulem, Sister of St. Louis, winner of the Sisters Anti-Trafficking Awards 2023 in London. She is responsible for a shelter for returned victims of trafficking, the Bakita House in Lagos, Nigeria. Pope Benedict XVI honored Patricia Ebeg-Boulem in 2012 with the highest papal honor for consecrated persons, the Pro Ecclesia and Pontifice Medal. The sisters will present their work with trafficking victims, women, men, and children, also the importance of faith in giving them the strength to act, and the fact that they are often the only ones to protect and help victims when the needs are overwhelming and the appropriate resources, human and material, are lacking. There are indeed very few shelters for victims of human trafficking in the world, and religious women run some of them with very limited resources. And this webinar is a call to support them. To overcome possible poor internet connections in the sisters' workplaces, we ask them to provide us with a video. They will participate in the discussion live, except for Sister Françoise. And now let me add a few words. According to Kevin Highland, Strategy Director of the Santa Marta Group, an alliance of police chiefs and bishops from around the world, working together with civil society to eradicate human trafficking and modern-day slavery. Kevin Highland, who was also the first independent anti-slavery commissioner in the UK government, and would like to quote from what he said in New York during an event at the UN organized by the Order of Malta in January of this year. I quote, "Other crimes for example, the fight on drugs, receives hundreds of billions of US dollars in yearly investment worldwide. Financial investment by governments to end human trafficking and modern slavery runs at less than 1% of the 150 billion US dollars made in criminal profit each year by traffickers. This makes for an unfair fight and mirrors data showing that less 1% of victims are identified each year. The Santa Marta Group intends to find ways to increase prevention, including using the illicit 100 billion US dollars profits for good purposes, including reparation and compensation for victims, allowing them to rebuild their lives. These criminal profits would almost match the OECD nations' entire US dollars 185 billion in official development assistance, ODA, showing the importance of making human trafficking a crime that does not pay. And in the vacuum of effective action, what could be done? The Santa Marta Group is promoting a 6-point strategic plan for 23-26. 1. Procurement and business culture. Businesses around the world benefit from human trafficking. This may be because they turn a blind eye, but it will always be when it happens because they haven't taken effective measures. We need to turn that so business are held responsible for what happens in their supply chains. Tainted money. Removing the benefit of human trafficking, which are currently estimated as over 150 billion every year, that money should be confiscated and used as reparation, victim support, and in the fight against human trafficking. We already do it for counterterrorism, so we could do that also for human trafficking. Third, digital space to be governed by law. Technology platforms must be regulated and governed by law to avoid promoting human trafficking. And fourth, international instruments, revising and enforcing international legal agreements and commitments so they are relevant for today's world. And fifth, international institutions, ensuring all international institutions use their platforms to fight human trafficking and promote human dignity. And sixth, and last, moral compass. Resetting the moral compass so that human trafficking is seen for what it is and eradicating slavery becomes a priority for all. The Santa Marta Group goal for the G20 countries to spend 30 billion annually in anti-trafficking structure by 2030. This may seem like a big ask, but the United States spends about 100 billion a year fighting drugs. It's hard to get to a collective 1 billion being spent by governments. We are determined to drive home this message from Cardinal Nichols, patron of Santa Marta, which is also the same message from Pope Francis. Allow me also to call another expert, Vincent Cochetel, UNHCR's Special Envoy for the Central Mediterranean situation, during our side event to the Global Refugee Forum in Geneva on the 11th of December 2023. And he said, I would like to share my frustration at the growing gap between the renewed political calls suggesting that more is being done against human traffickers and the reality I know. My concern also relates to the growing gap between capacity building efforts and victims' assistance in the field. A recent report from the UN system in March 2023 documented that most of the funding relating to human trafficking goes towards data collection, research, and soft capacity building activities. End of quote. In conclusion, we need more resources, more materials, and more people if we are to be effective in combating and ultimately eradicating modern slavery from our world. In the meantime, the sisters need our personal and institutional support, even in smaller amounts. I would like to thank you in advance for your support and remain available to answer any questions you may have.